Emissary, welcome to 69 Faces of Rock. Introduce yourself and tell me what you do in a band.
Peter Sean Kinney, bass guitar.
Tim Mothman Dolan, guitar, lead guitar.
I'm the lead singer. My name's Jim Harris, aka Jimbo.
Eric Hoover, drums.
All right. First question, how would you describe your musical style? What are you like?
Well, I think between his like of melodic vocals and really good riffs like Metal Church, and me growing up in the Bay Area, loving Death Angel, Exodus, Testament, Metallica, of course. I think a meld of those two with a little bit of Queensryche influence, early Queensryche stuff.
Anthrax.
Anthrax is there. I would say we are early U.S. power metal.
Okay. Emissary has a very complicated story. The band formed in 1989, but only now released their first album. What the hell happened?
Well,
So this band really started in 1993, and I reused a band name from a garage band I had in Las Vegas from 1989. So that way we can kind of say we're the original Emissary because we had the name first. There's been a lot of other emissaries since then. So the grunge came around. We were living in the Pacific Northwest, and nobody wanted to hear traditional U.S. power metal or melodic thrash or anything that sounded like us, and we weren't gonna, play alt rock or grunge or any of that. So the band broke up in '96.
Kind of
and then
different projects, moved on a little bit to different things.
we all did other projects, and then there was some interest last year. We ended up in a book called Rusted Metal. It's a guide to the Pacific Northwest hard rock and heavy metal music scene. And we were in there, and people started talking about this band Emissary from Southern Oregon, and found out that our demos from back in the 90s had gone all over the world, and we had fans all over the place, and we got hit up by Underground Power Records saying, if you guys want to do a new record, we'll put it out. So we went back in the studio just last year and recorded a new album. Finally.
good things.
There were 5 demos you guys released between 89 and 95. How would you say the music was changing over that time?
Well, I would say at first it was kind of a hodgepodge of, I was influenced by bands like Cinderella and, Faster Pussycat, that kind of stuff. And I was from the Bay Area, so I really liked the thrash stuff. The beginning riffs to some of our songs sounded like Cinderella, kind of Rat and Cinderella, which I was a big Rat fan as well. And then I think, I don't know. I think I took a riff from the band Death Angel, which I was really influenced by, and I didn't realize I took the riff from them. And then I think from there we realized we were more of a closer to thrash than we were glam, and I think we really got off on the rhythms of the guitar and the drums, and then it fell into Metal Church. I
remember when I auditioned, they were like, we're kind of trying to maybe heavy up the image a little bit, get a little bit heavier style kind of going. And when I auditioned and got the gig early on in
95.
95.
And it was such a strange time, so many different styles of music going on at that time. We actually experimented with a lot of different things, but honestly, what really worked is what we're doing right now.
Correct. Yeah.
The 1990s were not kind years to metal.
Nope.
How did you guys survive this time? And you haven't spoken yet.
Well,
Mr. Hoover, why don't you talk about this?
Go for it.
I did a whole lot of nibbling on sponge cake, playing some Margaritaville all throughout the U.S., doing top 40 covers.
Not just the U.S. though.
Well, I did some overseas stuff too, but I did a lot of covers.
I think it got to the point where people had to make money playing music. So he bowed out of the band, and we were in a struggling spot. They didn't want to even say metal; they wanted to say aggressive rock,
Freedom rock.
and and put us with bands that sounded like Nirvana, which. Whatever. Our biggest show ever was with the Cherry Poppin' Daddies, so we're playing with a big ska band, and we would do anything at that point, but then it just got painful. Too many monikers, butt rock, and people making fun of it, so it was painful, and then we all kind of moved on. But it was a tough situation because we all got to us. We were doing well. We were playing in San Francisco and Portland, and and doing a lot of stuff. And
A lot of places on the West Coast.
Immediately it hit, and nobody wanted to deal with metal anymore. So we were kind of stuck, but here we are making money. I made money in cover bands. I moved to Denver, played in cover bands for 20 years just to make money in music. Eric traveled the world doing the same thing. Jim stayed true. He's a good writer, so he kept writing and doing some stuff. But
I was behind the scenes for a long time.
Yeah, but his passion was still what he loved and what he grew up loving. I grew up loving, Sabbath and then Rat and Rush and all of those bands. But then being in the Bay Area, the thrash thing took, and that's the thing that spoke to me the most. Those riffs, those kind of, Dave Mustaine's not Bay Area, but that kind of stuff, those Megadeth riffs. So me writing that, him putting his influence to that, we did pretty well for a while, but then there was nowhere to play. It ran out.
Yeah.
What caused the initial breakup of the band?
Grunge.
Yeah.
The Seattle scene, unfortunately, yeah.
Not that those bands aren't great.
No, they're amazing. Alice in Chains, one of my favorite bands
Me too.
ever.
Here.
It's not a unique story, really. You hear this from hard rock bands. Anybody that did anything that was sort of 80s or whatever. When the 90s rolled around, and it became a curse to be able to actually be able to sing in tune and play your guitar, well. We met Jennifer Batten at a clinic.
Great guitar player.
And she talked about that how it was such a curse to be such a, like, 'cause she was like a Steve Vai kind of a player.
Yeah.
And it was the 90s rolled around, and that's not what the market was wanting.
Yeah. How dare you dress up, put on a show, and be good? You have to be depressed and
Wear flannels.
and do this thing.
You have to look homeless.
And you have
Yes,
to
you have to look homeless. Yeah, exactly.
And we tried it too. We of course, at the same time you had Nirvana, Pearl Jam, and all that, and then you had Pantera, and we of course we started sliding our guitar. We started doing all of that stuff in the studio, and then we realized this isn't us.
It just wasn't us. We ended up, Tim and I and another drummer ended up forming a kind of a project that was more in line with that Seattle sound. It lasted, and it was good for a little bit, but then we ended up just kind of going our own ways. And he moved to Denver. I stayed in Southern Oregon. And
no passion.
Yeah. In 2009, there was a compilation album called Nothing Left to Run. What can you tell me about it?
Oh, Nowhere Left to Run. Yeah, that was just basically all of our demos. I put the demos together on a CD and made a few copies of that. There was a little bit of interest from a small label that was thinking about maybe just doing a reissue of just our old demos, not re-recording a new album. But it never really came about. I think I burned a handful of copies for some friends, and it's on Metal Archives on the internet as if it really came out, but it's not really a thing. And luckily, now that this new album is coming out, there is a deluxe version, and the bonus disc is pretty much the same thing that Nowhere Left to Run was going to be, which is just a collection of our old demos taken from cassette and remastered.
Yep.
So what basically sparked this reunion?
Eric sparked it originally.
Really? You did? Go ahead.
COVID hit. We were all sitting at home, and I reached out to both Tim and Jim and asked about doing some re-recording and maybe doing a reunion tour or a reunion show.
Yeah, a club show.
Everybody's like, yeah, well, Jim talked to Tim, Tim talked to Jim, round and round, and then boom, here we are. Long story short.
Yeah, very short. No, I will say with that, it was really kind of everything aligned, because Eric was talking to me. I was in another band, and I was in New York doing some business for that other band, and he was texting me in the taxi cab, hey, how about we do like a club show, go play a bar, just to get the guys back together and do something we loved in the past. And then we got into the history book, and then we got offered to a record deal, and then some kind of big deal, producers said, hey, if you guys are doing that, we would like to be the ones that record you and do that. And then,
how awesome was that? We got lucky with that. Like, hey, please, can I help you?
Right, like big time people. So we were, and I'm a big Helmet fan. So one of the guys that recorded Helmet's last album came to us. So I was like, yes, let's do it. And then it was in COVID, so we were like, okay. Our other bands were kind of quiet.
Yeah, we were all playing in bands before that, right before COVID, and things were kind of looking up for our projects, different projects. Tim and Pete had a project together, and I was already signed to another label, and there was things were looking up, and then the pandemic hit and everything got canceled, and so while we were sitting around doing nothing, then Eric says, I've got this recording studio in my house, and there's nothing going on. Let's get back together and record some stuff.
And
and that was in Alaska.
and similar. I'll say similar to the I'm told for the shit movie. As you know, and that built up to that one big show that they had never played. And ours was going to be just a club show for some friends, and then all of a sudden, you guys want to open for Tesla at a fairgrounds in front of all these people.
After 25
in
years.
your hometown. So all of these things kind of fell into play. It was magical, and it was all meant to be. And now we're...
That was 1 year ago.
That was exactly 1 year ago. We played that big show, and now we're still going. And we have another big show coming up in 2 weeks.
Now, the Wretched Masquerade is finally out. What expectations do you have with that album?
Expectations?
Yeah.
Hopefully people, metalheads all over the world will enjoy it. Maybe we'll sell a few copies.
Yeah, we're pleasantly surprised right now.
I bought one.
Yes, you did.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you. You paid for
We worked hard on it. We really worked hard on it. And I know a lot of the songs were songs that were written years ago, but we really worked hard on it, and we like some of the changes we made. We really feel it hits hard, and in less than 3 days, we have over 9,000 views.
People are listening.
This is just now happening.
So the response is there.
Yes, no, it's really there. And we have a lot of support. People just want to support us, and it's a wonderful thing because it's scary jumping back in and putting all of your resources back into something like this, but everybody is there helping us out.
So generally, what promotion is being done for this album?
Like I said, we're on Underground Power Records out of Germany, and they are putting out a single CD, which is all the newly recorded tracks. Like Tim was saying, produced by Doug Hill, who's worked with Mastodon, Helmet, and Neurosis, and all these guys. Our album cover was done by a guy named Don Yatomi, who did some little bit of artwork for Megadeth and the band Tourniquet, and brilliant artists. So we've got a lot of good people on our team. Oh yeah, Jamie King did the mastering.
Played records,
Yeah, he's done a ton of.
And we had a guest star on one of our songs.
Oh.
Claudius Kramer from the band Possessed.
Yeah.
So rad.
Played a solo on our album.
Shredded it. Badass.
So that was a gift to us from him, and that was amazing.
Yeah, so hopefully the label's going to be pushing it and putting it out on vinyl when the pressing plants catch up, because everything's backed up at this point. So as you saw at our merch table, got CDs and tapes, and then vinyl. We'll have 2 versions of the vinyl as well.
And
so
my wife back in Denver just got a package from Germany, so she's got all the CDs and the deluxe CDs for the next leg of our tour that starts next week.
And
by the way,
coincidentally,
Jim Dolan
his wife
is the graphic artist that really made us look amazing and did a lot of amazing shit. She deserves some credit for
That's awesome.
real.
Thank you, guys.
Excellent. You're touring now. How is the tour going?
Amazing. Each show is better than the last, and we know our place. We're just getting out there. We just want to support, and I think once we get up there and get on stage, people are going to like us because we have good energy. But
You do.
but yeah, I mean, we're still kind of babies in this. We're kind of taking baby steps, and but next week we got to bring it because we're going to be playing some big shows. But this was awesome to come to Chicago. Who doesn't want to tour in Chicago? So and come play a killer show.
None of us had ever played here.
I never played in Chicago.
None of us ever
We've played all across the United States. Me and Tim, Lisa, one of our other bands. But yeah, Chicago's one we haven't hit, so this has been pretty friggin' awesome. People love their metal here, man. This is a great place. Reggies? Sure. Oh, yeah.
Loving it.
So finally, whether you are active or not, what kept this idea alive?
Our hearts.
Oh, just.
We love music. We love playing. We love music.
I mean, we love music, but I'll tell you, I moved in like 1996, moved away from where we were, and I I still listen to the 3-song, one of the main 3-song demos. I had the CD copy that they gave me from the studio, and I listened to it all the time. I always did, and I always thought these songs, man, if we could just record them again the right way.
Yeah, that was actually one of the things that Eric brought up. Was he said, because I play better now than I did 30 years ago. So
In my 20s versus my now age.
yeah, so let's re-record these songs and make them sound the way they should have sounded.
Right. Technology was there. All of our musical abilities were better.
We've definitely grown up, yeah. And tonight, we have another band member. He unfortunately did not make it. He almost got here. So so it was a killer night. We have 5 guys in the band, and everybody in the band is just super excited about the future and all of the, it's just cool, man. I feel like a kid again, going around and playing the club scene, and I'd have it any other way.
We're playing songs now, all these years later, 30 years later, right? That he and I, a lot of these songs, we put them together, from scratch, like in his living room.
Yeah, we were kids.
We're just kids, not even knowing.
I was learning how to play guitar. I was reading a book, how to play certain riffs, and we wrote these songs, and now they're.
And Eric was the drummer. In the '94 lineup, and then Peter Shankini over here was the bass player from '95 on. So interestingly, they had never played in the same band together because they were in 2 different lineups of Emissary. So,
but we drank together.
Yeah, he would come back from Korea with soju, and we'd just get lit. So he would come back from his tours with soju, and we would, maybe somebody was driving around. I don't know who, but we might have been drinking a little and having some fun.
Yeah. So but that was great. It's kind of like, so I always say it's kind of the greatest hits lineup of the band. And then we added Charlie Franspane on guitar.
Amazing guitar.
Amazingly guitar player. I mean, he really adds something to the sound, and he was sorely missed tonight at this performance.
But D here kicks some ass, man. He handled his shit. He handled it, man.
He played both guitar parts at the same time.
Emissary has always been family. No matter what lineup, all of us get along. All of us have hung out. Even when me and Eric had never played together, other members, it's been a family, and it's continued since then. And that's a big part of it. It's the heart we all feel for the music and for each other.
And tonight, you've witnessed Eric's last show.
Yes.
Unfortunately.
I didn't know we were going to bring that up.
At least last show on the tour. No, last show on, for now. Because he's a little busy, he's got a job, and we're switching guys in 2 weeks, but I just wanted to mention that Eric,
Eric, any final farewell words?
Oh, there's never farewell words. I'm not going to go away.
It's a deja vu moment.
I may be back.
We'll play again today.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I'll be behind the scenes on the VH1 in 20 years.
Yeah, man.
They're gonna come in kind of like pull a Blues Brothers and pull me out of a lounge.
That's right.
Nibbling on spine.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having
so
us.
very much.
Thank you for having us.
Rock.
Emissary.